Algebra is a branch of mathematics that deals mainly with letters. Letters, of course, coupled with numbers. But you are going to see a lot of letters more than you are going to see numbers. So you're going to work a lot with expressions that have a lot of letters and numbers. So let's look at an example of an algebraic expression. Let's look at an example of an algebraic expression. 4x plus 5 equals to 21. So I think you can see our letter there, our letter X. X and Y are common letters that are widely used, but that doesn't mean that they are the only letters that are used. So we can use any letter from our alphabet to form our algebraic expression. Now, these letters, we don't just call them letters in mathematics. Yes, they are letters, but we don't just call them letters in mathematics. We call them variables. So the letters that you use here, we call them variables. So throughout the entire topic, you're going to hear me talking about saying variables a lot. So whenever I say a variable, just know that I mean that letter that is in your algebraic expression. Then we have numbers that are next to our variables or our letters. We have numbers that are attached to our variables or are attached to our letters. Now, those numbers, we call them coefficient. Coefficient. So this is a word that you are going to hear me say or mention a lot throughout the entire topic. So just know that a coefficient, we are talking of a number that is attached to our variable. And then of course, we are going to have other numbers in our expression like 5 and 21. And that 5 and 21, we just call them constants. We just call them constant. So there's a constant 5 and then there's a constant 21. And of course, the sign that we are going to use in our expression, the sign that shows us what are we doing in our expression. Are we adding? Are we subtracting? Are we dividing? And that sign, we call it an operator. So basically, that's what an algebraic expression is made of. So keep that in mind. Remember what I said a variable is. Remember what I said a coefficient is, because like I said, you're going to hear me mentioning that quite often. So whenever I say that, you should really know what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to say letters. I'm not going to say numbers. So I'm going to use the proper words that we use here in our mathematics, variables and coefficients. So I will summarize what I just said. I was saying every algebraic expression have what we call a variable. So I'm saying a variable is that letter that we find in our expression. And every algebraic expression, it has what we call a coefficient. And a coefficient is that number that is attached to our variable. And then of course we have other numbers in our expression, and those numbers I said they are called constants. So that's basically, that's what you have to learn. That's what you have to know this far.